Hey, what's good, everybody? Drop in the chat right now. Where are you watching from tonight? Real talk, most small businesses are doing government contracting completely wrong. And it's costing them months of time, thousands of dollars, and contracts they should already have. I'm not guessing. We just wrapped up an 8-hour live boot camp this past Saturday, 8 full hours of breaking down why smart, capable businesses keep losing while a small group keeps winning really big. I've been inside the data, the agency behavior, the real opportunity pipeline, and what I found blows up everything most people have been taught. Just apply more. Refresh SAM.gov. Wait for the RFP. That advice is killing you guys. The gap between winners and losers in 2026 is an effort. It's targeting. And tonight, I'm giving you the entire bootcamp recap, the 5 moves that actually win, condensed into 45 minutes. No gate, no replay wait, just straight fire. But here's the real steal. The tools and the training that I gave out in the bootcamp normally cost over $2,000. But tonight only, I'm going to give people access, the same access I gave to the bootcamp attendees, to buy our entire bundle for a special price that expires at midnight. The link's dropping in the chat right now, so go ahead and grab it before it's gone. If you've been grinding with nothing to show, sitting on the sidelines, wondering if government contracts are even worth it, stay locked in, because once you see how this all really works, you realize most contractors have never had a chance playing the old way. Like this video if you're ready to flip the script. Subscribe if you're new. Drop a fire emoji in the chat if you're in. We're live. Let's get into these 5 moves that change everything in 2026. Let's go. So, as I said, for many of the people that are on here tonight, hopefully you had a chance to attend the boot camp. If you did not, we're going to kind of give over a recap of what was covered in this boot camp. And in fact, I'm doing it so fast that I didn't even have a chance to make the slides. So I'm literally pulling from the HTML file, but that's okay. We're going to still get you guys the information. So what we covered in the boot camp, 8 hours of training, 5 core steps. I showed everyone how to do AI market research and 4 premium tools. And again, I'm going to share with you the strategy so you can start winning contracts this quarter. The 1-page execution sheet. So we gave out this 1-page execution sheet for all of the bootcamp attendees. And ultimately what it covered was step 1, agency targeting, how to pick 3 agencies that buy what you sell, why they buy it, what you're selling. Number 2, the agency pain points, their problems and how you solve it. Step 3, the AI prompts to use to enhance your market research. Step 4, how to make your capability statement differentiate from the other thousands of small women-owned businesses out there, minority companies, professional services companies, other janitorial firms, how to make yourself stand out, right? And what we did in terms of using AI to help us do that. Step 5, opportunity research, how to find low competition opportunities, specifically where there are not a lot of people going after. Step 6, how to respond, what you're going to submit, what sections to complete to put you in the top 5% of small businesses. And then step 7, expiring contracts, which are essentially a gold mine of opportunities, a honeypot, if I like to say so myself, of recompetes that are coming out, literally $77 trillion this year alone, opportunities to become a prime, to become a sub, to essentially get your first contract without having necessarily to do all of the direct marketing. So we went over the action sheet, and the rule that we follow: 1 agency, 1 opportunity, 1 action repeated daily. So strategy number 1, right? Target like a sniper. Stop spraying and praying. Start targeting. The problem that a lot of people have is that most contractors go after every opportunity. And that, my friend, is a losing strategy. The winners, they target with precision. Essentially, the solution that we've created here at GovCon Giants, which you won't find a lot of people out here talking about, is we've taken literally just 5 inputs, okay? 5 inputs that most of all of us should know. We put that into the system, and now you'll know exactly where to focus your energy. Focus beats everything. And we're going to show you how to identify your top 3 agencies, not 10, not 5, 3. Remember Pareto's principle that 20% of the effort usually yields 80% of the results, right? The 80-20 rule. And so we're going to show you how to identify that 20% so that they can yield you your 80%. Now, again, for those of you who did not attend the boot camp, all right, these are the 5 inputs that we're talking about here today. All right. And so, number one, all of us should know if we have any type of socioeconomic status, whether it's small business, 8A, woman owned, veteran owned, hub zone. Number two, you should know your zip code or the geographical area that you want to go after. Number three, your PSC code or your NAICS code. And then with those inputs, we can help you identify agencies that you could potentially work for and then find those agencies, right? So again, I hope that everyone has this information. You should have this information. And then based on that, I'm going to give you an actual demo of how we find what I'm describing. So let me kind of show you really quickly what I'm talking about here. All right. So this is one of our tools that we have that I created for essentially I built it for myself. So let's just start there. So this is something that I built for myself and it's called Federal Market Assassin. This tool I built for myself. And what I've done is whenever, as a consultant, right? Because I'm still a consultant, whenever companies come to me and say, Eric, how do I, for example, I had a call today with a gentleman who does crane and rigging. And so, he's like asking me about, okay, he's aware that they are buying those services in his local area. He doesn't know who he should be talking to that are the people that are actually buying them because their decision makers are not sitting in the local office. They're in another office, right? And so he doesn't know who they are, where they're at. And so again, effectively, I show him something like this. So let's just start off by putting in small business. We could put in your NAICS code. Again, I'm a construction guy, so I always use 23620, right? Or your PSC code if you know it. And then we could put in your zip code. Right? And then click the button, find target agencies. And so what will happen is with those inputs there, it'll give you a list of agencies. And so it's interesting because I mentioned to him literally today, Army Corps of Engineers as one of the buyers. Now, I couldn't remember off the top of my head, Army Corps of Engineers. I mean, I remember them, but I didn't remember Contract and Command, Material Command, Aviation and Missile Command, Air Command. So here you'll see is a list of the agencies that are buying. Now, I'm going to just kind of for purposes of demonstration, I'm going to show you what happens next. So here are the agencies that are buying in his area, right? So you'll see here a list of buyers, and you'll see under Army, there's several contracting offices that are buying in that zip code, right? And they're not going to necessarily be next to you or on the base or where you're physically located, but these are the people that are making decisions to buy in these areas. So now he's got some intelligence, some data that he can use to figure out, okay, these are the people that are buying that. And now he knows who he should be going after, right? So from that information, okay, we'll go into the next thing. So now we have this information. We know who's buying. We click on it. It tells you U.S. Corps of Engineers out of Georgia. All right. It gives us their office ID. And now we have an idea of who we should be trying or attempting to talk to because we know who's issuing the actual contracts. So again, inputting 5 pieces of information can generate you 8 reports. So I gave you here an example of the government buyers. Additionally, I have all of the small business contacts, their names and numbers to call. I have here a list of subcontracting opportunities. So these are companies that have contracts in the same NAICS code. Here's a list of IDV contracts. So these are a list of task order contracts, recompete contracts. These are contracts that 50% of the government's buy is through these vehicles. And so ultimately, he would like to be a subcontractor because he doesn't actually build buildings. And so here are people that he could start reaching out to for subcontracting opportunities. Lastly, I gave a list of tribal companies. They are large, small businesses. They're emerging companies. They're easier to talk to. But again, more opportunities for him to be a subcontractor. So that's the first strategy. Okay. Strategy number 2, agency pain points. Believe it or not, federal agencies need you. They're required to spend what small business is. The challenge is they don't know where to find you. And we discussed this. By the way, if you are watching this now, all of our free handouts are still available. If you go to our website, govconscience.org. okay, and go here, you can still get all of our handouts, the January 2026 agency buyers list, the hit list, the bootcamp, pain points guide, all these things. They're still available for free. It costs you nothing. You can sign up there on Surge and still get access to all of the free handouts. So going back to the pain points, specifically, what happens is you will see in the pain points guide that the government's issue is that they cannot find small businesses. That's what they said. And so what we did on Saturday is I showed all of the bootcamp attendees how to make yourself visible. Right now, you're invisible because you think that just by being registered in SAM, that they know who you are. And that's not true. We quickly proved that more than half of the attendees were invisible in the government's eyes because they were not showing up where the government is looking for you at, right? They could not find your specialized capabilities. They could not verify your past performance. They couldn't tell where you were geographically, if there was any security clearance or any gaps. They didn't know, right? And so what happens is, what we do is we help small businesses become visible, become noticed, because I first identify the government's pain points and priorities. These are some of the data sources that we pull from, okay? And then once we identify their pain points and priorities, we speak to them in all of our outbound correspondence and all of our outbound material, when we have meetings, when we have calls, when we register in the portals. So let me show you essentially how that works. What we do is ultimately we don't sell our services, we solve problems. So most of us are aware of your capability statement, but it should speak to their challenges, not to your features. And so what we do is, I'll show you really quickly an example. Let's go back over here. So here on the Market Assassin tool, I'll show you guys. When we look at here the different buyers, and we look at Aviation and Missile Command, for example, here below, you'll see a list of their priorities that they identified under the reports that I showed you earlier. So when we go back here and we look at some of these areas we could do our research from, here's some of their priorities. So they have a mandate for AI and machine learning. They have issues with infrastructure. They've got base infrastructure and facilities that need to be, they have soldier modernization equipment needs, network modernization and tactical communications needs. They've got training and simulation systems that they have, that apparently there's some issues with, supply chain and logistics optimization. So now you can talk to these things specifically. And so when you're talking to these pain points and priorities, the government knows that you are astute and also that you are coming to provide them a solution, not sell services, right? So here, Air Force Lifecycle Management Center, same thing, agency pain points and priorities, acquisition speed, prioritization, streamline requirements for rapid delivery, integrated development office, increasing speed of warfighting capabilities. So again, I did not make this up. This came from these different sources. But what I did do was I showed everybody how to take this information, right? And then tie it to your marketing materials, to the stuff that you're saying to government officials, to prime contractors, so that they know that you know what you're speaking about. So again, don't sell services, solve problems. And then here in strategy 3, what I did was I showed everyone how to actually do this. So in our third strategy, I showed people how to use AI to do this. And so I'll give you an example really quickly. So let's just go back here. All right. We have these agencies. We have Army Material Command. And what we showed people was, for example, research, right? You replace agency with this group, Material Command. And we said, research their top pain points for FY26. What agency, okay, is buying this NAICS code, right? And so we're able to take these prompts, put in AI, and now we have custom priorities and pain points specifically for the people that are buying our services, so that when we set up meetings with them and calls to talk to them, we can address those things, right? Same thing, show this particular agency spending trends and top contractors. So we show in the bootcamp on Saturday how to do that. We obviously gave a list of more extensive prompts, but this is the idea, is that we were able to now couple this research that we have with the commands and the office levels, use AI to then expand that research so that we can now talk specifically to that customer. All right. I'm going to pause for a minute. I see 38 people watching us. Is this making sense, or does it sound like I'm just talking gibberish right now for everybody out here? Is this making sense to everybody? Thank you, by the way, Jeanette, for being a new member. Welcome, everybody. By the way, our boot camp, just so you know, in case you were not aware, to register for the boot camp was literally $99. So anyone could register and sign up. We'll have the replay up this week for everybody out here. And so, again, it was a cost of probably a halfway decent dinner out, right? So just want to make that aware for people who are watching later on YouTube, that's all the investment was, other than your time. So I just want to make sure that you guys are tracking. I know I'm going really fast. By the way, I'm going to stay at the end and answer a lot of questions for people out here. So I will be answering a lot of questions at the end, but I kind of want to get through my slides so that all the people watching are getting the maximum value. I'm not wasting your time, okay? So again, we took this information, we coupled it with AI to essentially come with faster results. I'll be happy to show you that. So really quickly, so let me just, I'll pull an example. Let me just do one for you, RM material command. So let's just do one really quickly. I'm going to take, okay. So now, again, we know RM material command, right? Because we've had them on our list. And then we just use chat to plug. I copied and pasted my prompt and I swept out the name. And then it says here, okay, have research top pain points, RM command. Okay. So it starts listing supply chain and inventory management challenges, modernization, organic, industrial based transformation, data analytics and digital transformation, readiness and soldier experience pressures, fiscal and audit pressures, industrial based and acquisition ecosystem risk. So here's the summary. And again, we can now take this information and we can deep dive based on the NAICS code. So let's say, for example, my NAICS is 236220. Only speak to that, or to, let's see, those challenges. And now we can have it pull up that, right? Focus on the challenges that are specific to my NAICS code. All right. So look, aging facilities and deferred maintenance backlog. They control depots, arsenals, ammunition plants, research labs, warehouses, and industrial campuses. Many facilities are 40 to 80 years old, chronic underinvestment, structural degradation, outdated utilities, code noncompliance. Like, are we seeing this? Right? Their FY26 priorities, recapitalization over new footprint. So they have a heavy demand for facility renovation, expansion, industrial bay reconfiguration, roof envelope. AMC can't modernize equipment unless the buildings can support it. Organic industrial based facilities modernization is under pressure to retool depots and arsenals for modern weapon systems. Existing buildings were designed for legacy systems. New platforms require higher floor loads, larger clear spans, advanced power and HVAC, digital manufacturing, implication, design, build complexity, construction side, active industrial facilities, phased builds to avoid mentioned disruption. I mean, are you guys seeing this? Like, did you see what I did right there? Did you see how I took, right? So I want to kind of zoom out from everybody. By the way, if you have any questions about anything that we're doing, or you want to talk to one of us, my number is right here below. Just call that number, and Anil will help guide you to the right direction if you want to set up a session with us to go over some capabilities gaps or how to do this for yourself. We'd be happy to do it. But do you understand what I did, right? And this is why we said, if you're not doing this in 2026, you're truly missing out on the opportunity at hand. Is we're combining our research tools with AI to now give us an unfair advantage. And so effectively, we've been able to now start creating outpaced results for our students. And we're going to continue doing that through 2026. So I would suspect we're going to have several 7 and 8 figure deals done by students from the result of this boot camp, just because they're leveraging all of the tools out here nowadays. And so again, you're not talking about a huge investment in time and energy, and you see how fast we did that. I can do this for anyone. In fact, if you are a consultant or considering being a consultant, you can do this for clients and charge them thousands of dollars. In fact, I'm going to start making some videos about how to take and turn this into an agency where now, imagine if you've got, they talk about working with boring businesses, right? Small businesses, plumbers, HVAC guys, fire guys who do fire systems and fire stations. You could now take and go into a small business, right? And say, have you ever thought about doing government contracting? I have the ability to identify a pipeline of potential customers for you for whatever, I don't know, you name your price, $1,500, $2,000, whatever, whatever case may be. You do that 3, 4, 5, 6 times, right? You can actually generate this information and give them actionable things and actionable steps. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But quickly, this really for me was, this was a super easy exercise that, look, cost growth and budget volatility. All right. So this is some of their concerns: inflation, volatility, unpredictable utility energy costs, long approval cycles. And then they've got what helps: accurate early cost modeling, value engineering credibility, proven cost control, and federal jobs. So now let me give you an example of how we took that. I'll tell you right now something that we did. So you see where this says what helps: accurate early cost modeling and value engineering credibility. So we did this for a government entity before, and I've heard this several times, is we had an electrical company that sold like high energy solutions. And so we said to them, why not offer to do the value engineering for the government for free? Okay, so you'll go in and you'll assess these systems. You will prepare and write this information for the government. And then ideally, once you prepare this, they're going to see you as the person who is the solution provider. So we were able to do this, and we were able to literally get the government to allow us now to write this because they have this problem. So they have the problem. So we said, hey, I will do the assessment for you, right? My company can do these value engineering assessments to go out and look at this. It costs you nothing. We'll give you the reports, we'll give you the assessment, and we'll give you what it's going to take to do it. We just save them time and money, right? By the way, did you hear me say anything about minority or 8A? My company, this is what we do. We're experts at this. We will do an assessment for you for free, give you the reports to help you guys. We understand that your challenge is here, right? Accurate early cost modeling, value engineering, right? Okay, we're going to go ahead and value engineer this job for you. Okay, and then what happens, Kimberly or Mana, what do you think happens when you value engineer the job for the government? Who do you think they're going to be considered at the top of their list for them trying to sole source the job to you? By the way, I said this last week. I said this on a call. Everyone could get a sole source. You do not need a certification to get a sole source. Please take that back in your head. In 2026, you don't need a certification to get a sole source. Anyone can get a sole source opportunity. So we were able to literally take that information, go to the government customer, and then they were able to take and say, okay, since Kimberly is the expert and she came to us with the solution, hey, Kimberly, let me ask you something. We only have a budget of $2 million. Is there anything that we could do utilizing that $2 million budget? Why? Because now you are considered the expert. You're the ones that offered them a solution. You're not going to cheat them. You're the ones that are more likely to be fair. And then now you could essentially develop a solution within their budget that aligns with what they're trying to get accomplished. We already know the problem. We can see the problem right here. Okay. So now imagine going to the government and telling them that and saying, hey, we know what's going on. We understand you've got these aging facilities and you've got deferred maintenance backlog. Let us help you. Okay. So this is what we do. And this is when I say we don't sell services, we solve problems. All right. So again, screenshot this, save it, put it as a home reminder on your phone, because this is the difference. By the way, this administration loves that more than ever, because you're now offering to come to them, help them value engineer it, right? You're making an investment, you're making a commitment. No, there's no guarantees, but they can say to their boss, to their constituents that, hey, this small business did this for us at no charge. It didn't cost us anything. So now we're saving the government money. We're saving taxpayer dollars money. The agencies already have less people, less staff. You are now coming to them with a solution to save them money, to save them time, to get them real, live, accurate what's happening in 2026, not from their outdated proposals that they got 10 years ago, 8 years ago, when they first learned about solution. You're bringing them up-to-date information because you already know the problem, right? Strategy number 4, the hit list method. So many people come to me, Eric, where do I find low competition bids? Where do I find low competition opportunities? Screenshot this, because this is what I do. Now, of course, I'm now using technology to do all this, but I'm showing you the formula that I use to get to the output so that you can now do the same thing. So you can copy me. That's why I said we're going to do this in 45 minutes instead of 8 hours. Copy me. Okay. Please copy me. I'm not telling you not to copy me. I'm saying copy, steal it. You're not even stealing, because I'm telling you, you can have it. I put it on the screen so you can take it. So what I want everybody to do, and not now, you can do it later, or screenshot and do it after the fact. You go to usaspending.gov, do an advanced search, filter by your NAICS code plus your set-aside type, set the award amount for $25K to $250K, okay? Export the results, and then you're going to see all the agencies that are giving out simplified acquisition contracts. Do we know what simplified acquisition is? We've heard it, simplified acquisition, SAP, micro purchases. Those are contracts that must go to small businesses. They only go to small businesses, okay? Anything in that threshold goes to small businesses. So when people say, Eric, how do I find simplified acquisition projects? This is it. I just showed you how to do it, okay? These are the opportunities. So remember I said earlier, they can sole source to anyone. If you register in a SAM, you can get a sole source. All right, I want somebody to quote that. Oh, Wes just said it went up to 350,000. So Wes is right. They just changed it up to 350,000. However, Wes, because we are researching past data, let's stay to 250, because right now they have not, no one from last year or prior to the Senate administration did a $350,000 simplified acquisition threshold contract. So since we're looking at past data to determine like where we want to go in the future, but yes, Wes is correct. They did up the threshold to 350K, but for now, since we're researching past data, in the past previous years, it was at 250K for your research purposes. But again, you're asking me this all the time. People get on calls, Eric, how do I find opportunities with less competition? This is it. In fact, screenshot it, send it to your buddy. Okay, how do I find? This is it right here. This is it. This is what you do. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what we did. So here under our Federal Market Assassin tool that we have, we do a lot of that for you already. So again, here you'll see Q4 spend for December, 25 billion, 50 low competition contracts. So we showed some of those opportunities here in our research so that you can go back and find something, a similar award for your industry, for your sector. All right. So we've done all of that research in the initial outset when we first pull out all these reports. So, but for those of you who don't have access to the tools that we've created, then you can still go back and do it this way. I've been doing these things the old way for many, many years. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey, look, I've been using Excel and I've been using spreadsheets and I've been using all the free public databases. But guess what? I evolve. Now we have access to more tools and resources. And what I'm doing for everybody here is I'm making it available to everyone so that you guys who have a little bit more money than time, you're like, Eric, I want to save time. I ain't got time. I want to go straight to the bag. I want to get straight to talking to government decision makers. Then here's how you do it. So again, this is the method that I use, right? The other thing that we tell people, and this is where a lot of small businesses are really, really missing a boat. So you may not know this, but less than 5% of contractors are responding to sources sought notices. What's a sources sought notice? It's how you can let the government know you exist out here and how you can start to influence how agencies write requirements. Also, this is how you get on their radar so that they can consider you for potential negotiated and sole source and set aside projects, right? So I just showed you how to do the hit list. Let me show you guys what I mean over here. I'm going to pull up another screen. Give me a second. Let me find it real quick. Where'd it go? Hold on 1 second. I lost myself. By the way, drop in the chat any questions that you guys may have. I'll be sure to answer them as we wrap up this presentation shortly. So just drop any questions that you may have in the chat while I'm looking for this particular document here. Okay. Cool beans. All right. So I found the document I'm looking for. Boom. All right. So this is FAR Part 10, and I'm not going to bore you with the FAR, but I just want you to know that when we talk about things, this is what the government, this is what they use. This talks about market research and the procedures that the government uses to identify vendors early on. And I just want you to have this so that you are aware is that when I'm telling you things or we're referencing why you should do this, why it's pertinent to you, I'm referencing actual guidance that the government decision makers are issued on how they should be handling these things. So this FAR talks about how the government conducts market research. And it says in here, right, these are the ways that they're doing market research. If you look at down here, one of the ways it talks about is small business administration, dynamic small business search as a place where they are utilizing and looking for small businesses. And then it talks about also market research, sources sought, RFIs, requests for information. So I just wanted you to have that for your, so that you know, I took down my chat GPT. Oh, well, sorry. I want you to have that because I want you to know where we're pulling this from so that you can know essentially when you're doing things, why you're doing them, not just because I told you so, but because effectively this is what works. And let me just kind of show you. This is what I was talking about here in terms of DSBS profile. And so again, going back to market research under the FAR, between your sources sought responses and updating this profile to match, right, what the government's looking for, how they're looking for it, those are the two things that we strongly encourage people to do that, like I said, less than 5% of companies are actually doing. I just went through the hit list. We're going to skip that. We're going to go straight into number 5, expiring contracts. So path A, first of all, what does expiring contract even means? Let me pull up this chart that I keep referencing all the time. When you look at this chart, you see there it says task orders. So under task orders, that essentially is a list of long-term contract vehicles that the government continues to bundle projects. And they don't bundle it because they necessarily want to eliminate small businesses. They bundle it because it's an efficient way to buy from them. So it's an efficient way for the government to put out essentially get more requirements fulfilled with less effort. So they basically say, okay, let's put these, $5 billion worth of contracts into one pool. We'll bid out the entire thing. We'll choose 10 contractors, and then those 10 contractors will be the only ones that are on that pool for the next 5 to 10 years. We've been talking about this a lot for the last couple of weeks. But in case you've missed it, this is kind of what the chart looks like. Again, this is one of the free handouts that we gave everybody when you signed up for either our December or January boot camps. And here we show you, right, the total value of the contracts, the start dates, and the expiration dates. And this was just for the month of December alone. So you can see here, this $60 million contract started in 2020 and expired in 2025. So what's going to happen is when they expire and they come up for renewal in 26, then they're going to issue that contract to the next set of vendors, and it's gone for the next 5 or 10 years. So you will never have the chance to work on that contract again as a prime once it is put back out. So those are the contracts we're talking about when we say expired contracts. So path A, you can team with an incumbent, right? You could go after, they need small business subs, lower risk for you. And if you can't do everything to be a prime, then that makes sense for you to build past performance. But path B is you can compete, right? So we know that they're expiring. So they're going to be looking for a new set of vendors and solution providers out here. So you can now position yourself as a equal or better option. Again, it's several companies are going to be on these recompetes. You can essentially chase it yourself. So you now look at what does it take to do it, and you can start putting together your team to actually go after these opportunities. Again, the timing for it ideally is 12 to 18 months out, but the requirements are coming out this year, and so you will be able to see those requirements, and you can determine whether or not, hey, I can bid as a prime, or do I have to team with the incumbent, or do I have to ultimately just become a subcontractor later on? So what we've done is we actually have what we call a recompete tracker, where we actually have a list of expiring contracts in 2026 right now, and we're continually to update this list, right? So right now we have it through September. It's 6,000 contracts, $77 trillion. Okay, so I could search anyone's NAICS code and see what expiring contracts are coming up this year in 2026. And again, with this information, you can now determine whether or not you want to be a team with them, be a subcontractor, or compete against them. Now, the good thing about having this information early is this, right? Why do you want this information early? Because if you go in, right, with someone on their team, when they win this long-term vehicle, you're going to be on the team that wins. If you wait until after the fact, they could have already put their team together. And so now you have to wait till somebody messes up or someone doesn't perform in order to get on the team. Or, right, they may just not block you out because they're like, hey, we bid this as a team, and this is a team that we're going to use for the next 5, 7, 10 years, however long that lasts. So it behooves you to get in on this early, right, as early as possible, so that you can start putting together your team or being part of the team that's going to go after these opportunities. So again, on this tracker, just show you an example, right? And so we put in, like I put in NAICS code, the same NAICS code. We could choose contract values, right? Let's say 10 to 100 million. And you'll see there's over 208 contracts that fall within that value range that are expiring in 2026. And you can see the company's names. It shows you when the contract started, the award ID, when they expire, and the total value of the contract. So again, I could do this for anyone's NAICS codes that's on here today. And like I said, we'll be happy to show you how to do that. So that was also one of the free handouts that we gave, was the list of expiring contracts for the month of December and January. But this database has the entire list right now through September of 2026. All right. And then lastly, we have our federal contractor database. So it's interesting because, did I not pull it up? I got to find it. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. That's Federal Help Center. Hold on one second. Let me pull up the database for you guys real quick. And effectively what happens is, and I get this all the time, especially with technologists. I see a lot of technology guys. They're like, Eric, I want to be a sub, but these guys don't never call me back. They don't talk to me. how do I become a subcontractor, right? A lot of you guys in technology, they call me with that. And I said to them, right, this is what I do. So for me, I look at tier 2 and tier 3 companies, and that's who I target. So I use our federal contract database of more than 3,500 primes that we pulled together. Thousands of them have an active subcontracting plan that says they are actively looking for subcontractors. It's written in there. That's why I pulled this list. And instead of going after the tier 1 guys, I go after the tier 2 companies or the tier 3 companies. All right. And so again, same type of experience, twiddling your NAICS code. And now you can look at tier 2 and tier 3 subcontractors, and they're the ones that are more likely to give you a chance to be a subcontractor. Because why? They're not going to send you to go register in their portal. They're going to take your phone call. They're going to actually respond back to your emails. They're going to take a coffee with you. They're going to talk to you about what they need, or they're going to talk to you about problem sets. When you start dealing with the Raytheons and the Boeings and those guys, they're great companies, but I mean, it's just they're a market. I mean, they are just like the government. They're big. They're bureaucratic. It's a lot harder. It's a longer pathway to break into them. So what we recommend is starting off with tier 2 and tier 3 subs. And I took and built an entire database for them and how that works. So let's go back and wrap up today's presentation. So again, your challenge this week to execute on is pick your 3 target agencies. I want you to write them down. Okay. Respond to a source of SOP, get on the agency's radar, look at 3 expiring contracts, and then research 1 agency using AI, some of the examples that I showed you guys today. All right. Now, I'm going to go through, we're going to do some Q&A stuff in the chat. All right. And I want you guys, hopefully you've already done that. You start writing some of your questions and answers so I can go back in and I can and help you answer them. Hopefully a lot of you guys are already registered in SAM.gov. That's the first stop. Now, really quickly, and you can thank one of our members for this, okay? So I'm going to first put on here our entire, so everything I talked about tonight, we have a new page that we set up called shop.govcongiants.org. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now, okay? So you can visit our page, shop.govcongiants.org page, all right? And you'll see a list of all the tools that I went over tonight. Now, I didn't go over this content creator tool yet. I'll save that for the end. But you'll see our Federal Market Assassin, right? You'll see that on there. We have 2 versions. You'll see our Federal Contractor Database. You'll see our expiring contracts. And then you'll see some of the free handouts as well that we talked about on here. Basically, essentially, everything that we just showed you tonight, they're already in there. And what I did was for our bootcamp members, hold on. Let's go back. Where's it at? Take this off. Okay, cool. All right. So we've got a couple bundles that you can combine different tools together, but we have if you were to get everything, all the tools, the entire thing, we have what we call the Ultimate Giant Bundle. So for everyone that was in our boot camps, what we did was we discounted this until tonight at midnight. So I'm going to put that link in here for everybody else as well. So if anybody wants to take advantage of this, okay, I could say we're going to go ahead and just put that in there as well so that you guys can also take advantage as well of this. So we will effectively do a session specifically on how to use the tools. You'll get access to any of the future updates that are included and any of the new features. And plus, we'll do community support. So that's on the page. I'm going to go ahead and leave this up. This is going to expire at midnight. Please do not call Anel or anybody from my team and ask them about this after the fact. Okay. But I definitely want to put that up for everybody. Anybody who would like to have access to this information, access to these tools that we talked about. And then I'll take and answer some of your questions. And then we will continue on our conversation tonight. So, correct, Oscar. Yes, some of the tier 1 companies are in the Fortune 500. Yes, too big. Don't even waste your time. It's not worth it. I mean, it's just too long, too hard of a pathway to get started with them. All right. So what do we got? What we got going on? What are some of the questions that people have from her? By the way, again, here's our phone number to call, text us if you need help. I didn't get a chance to put our email on the slides, but let me go through and just kind of answer people's questions. Dun, dun, dun. Charles from Cleveland, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay. Kimberly from Dallas, welcome. I see somebody from DMV, welcome. Sylvia, always in the building, always support you. Love you. Thanks, Sylvia. Bama in the house, Roll Tide. Anybody from Duval? Ain't no Duval people in the house? What's up? I see my man PJ's in the building. Tavin, always supporting West. Thank you for showing up. All right. What we got? Alan White. Alan White, by the way, we have an event this Friday here in the DMV. Okay. I told Carl to make sure to send you an invite because I don't have your information. This Friday, we're having an event. And funny, PJ, thinking about you, we're actually doing an event this week here in DMV. We're connecting like a men's group together to go after this money. I don't see no questions. Okay, here. Okay. Do you have a reference template for what a good DSP profile looks like? Regina, excellent question. I do have a reference template for what one looks like, and I will show you that. I'll show you ours that we use that you can copy. Now, I will also say this, Regina. This is the one that I use. However, hold on one second. What we tell our students is that you should, let me just get off screen first. I'll come back to it. So what we tell our students is you should take and find someone in your industry that's in another area, okay, and model their profile. So I recommend that you model someone in your same specific service or product offering that's successful, not too big. Don't pick, again, listen, do not pick $1 billion company to model, right? I have to say that. Pick an emerging business to model. Someone who was a small business that's now maybe doing 30, 40, $50 million, okay? Someone who's like, you see, a competitive mate is what we call them in the industry. Find their profile and model that. So let me show you some of the issues though. Regina, let me just kind of show you where people mess up on their profiles. So when we go here, first thing that we could do is when you look at profiles, first, like these last two down here, the fact that their profiles are empty should tell you all you need to know. That's a big no-no, okay? So having an empty profile, first of all, is bad, all right? The second thing is, look at this guy. He put a bunch of NAICS codes here. That don't make no sense either. Who taught this guy how to do his profile? Okay. By the way, this is opportunities for consultants out here to find people that don't know what they're doing to help advise them. Okay. So if you are a consultant or a potential consultant, how do you find people that need your help? I start with SBA profile and see who's doing it wrong. And you could literally go to them and say, hey, I was browsing through, I saw your SBA profile. Would you like me to offer some tweaks to improve so you can get a 3 times better response from the government based on how they look for small businesses like yours? Easy way to get in the door because you're looking at the stuff and you're saying it's wrong. All right. And you're like, hey, Darnell Baxter. Okay. I don't know who told him to do this way, right? He's a veteran-owned business, but clearly he wasn't. Look at this guy, Travis. He put aviation services. Okay, look at Rozzy. I'm reaching out to introduce myself. My company expressed interest in supporting your agency with micro purchase requirements below 10,000. Regina, do you see all the missteps that people are taking on here? Like, so as a minority woman small business, we're committed to excellence, safety, and competitive rates. Trump, people will kill her. There's no person right now that would read that and give this person a contract. It's not, it won't happen. Okay. Let's see. Israel, founded in 2010, Expires would probably help small business located in Miami Gardens, Florida. Manufacturing ground handling equipment. Again, cryo crane rigging consultant. So you can see right here, the fact that everyone's profile is different should tell you that no one was trained on how to make a proper profile. The fact that some people put NAICS code, some people put when they were, how they want to talk to the government. Some people put Like the fact that all those things are different tells you they were not properly trained. So that creates opportunities for one of us to come in and actually do this the right way for them. But I still didn't answer your question. So who's right? Who's wrong? Right? Home, about us, contact. What is this? All right. So let's go in and again, for anybody who's listening, her question was, do I have a reference template on what a good DSBS profile looks like? All right. So we're here in the DSBS page. I'll drop that in the chat so you guys can have it. All right. And so this is our profile here for construction, but you want to copy a profile in your industry, but I'll show you ours for construction. And you can just copy me. Boom, right here. So Excel Construction Corporation, you could copy this profile. And what we did right, the others that failed to do, Regina, is in this first box that says capabilities narrative, we put in there literally keywords that the government's searching for when they're looking to filter and scan this for qualified and capable, competent small businesses. So what they're going to scan for are keywords. But you can see here how many blank profiles exist on this page. And so these people, no one's going to call them. So the government is looking for sometimes in their statements of work or scopes of work, they're putting things like the word design, capital planning, forecasting, right? In fact, if we go back to our chat GPT where we did the market research earlier today, where's my list? So when we look at this pain points, I'm going to show you, Regina, how this works. So I'm going to show you how this crosses over. And by the way, we didn't do this. I didn't even know this was a question on there. So let's go back to our capabilities narrative, right? You see the first word is design, Regina? Again, I'm in construction. So my first keyword search is design. When we look here under the agency's pain points, do you see the first thing that they put? If you want to learn their pain point, you see the word design? That's the first thing that ChatGPT put for their pain points was design, which is the first thing that's on my profile, the word design. So this is why they're going to find me. And this is why you're invisible. And they're not going to find you because you didn't even know the right design in your narrative because you don't know the priorities and the pain points. So you don't know what to write. So you're not being found. I already knew this without having to do this because this is what I do, right? Estimating, value engineering. Does anybody remember? Let's go back up here. Let's go back in their pain points. Let's go back. 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 What does it say, guys? What helps? I'm going to make this big. Get them. What'd that say right there on the chat GPT? What helps them? Value engineering. What's on my capabilities narrative? Value engineering. Anybody see how that connects the dots? Anybody see why we get calls and sole source and negotiated contracts? Because we use the words that they use in our narrative as a keyword search. So when they're saying, hey, I need people that can do design and value engineering, beep, beep, beep. It's right there. It's right here in our narrative. Thank you, Regina, for giving me a layup to show how good we are and why we're the best. This is why we're number one, because this is the game that nobody's teaching you because they don't know how to do it because they ain't even doing it. So they can't teach it to you guys because they don't even know how to do this stuff. Regina, thank you so much because I didn't even know that I was going to use these two examples to combine. But boom. So again, cost control, value engineering. We're using the words that the government use to look for opportunities. Okay? Right? Forecasting, estimating, budgeting. These are words that you will hear in here. You're going to see this. So I'm aligning myself with what they're looking for. Okay? Because this is what they're looking for. And you should do the same thing. Thank you, Regina, for that question. Excellent question. Glad I was able to show you guys a real live demonstration using our profile. So again, mine's construction. And the narrative, do not write a paragraph. You write keywords separated by commas. Okay. The same way that it's searchable. So it's a comma, just same way that, and then when you get in here, make sure that you're filling out down here as well, keywords. Okay, Regina, make sure that you're also filling out your keywords here in the keywords section. Make sure that you're also putting past performance. It doesn't have to be government past performance. Our first past performance are banks. They're not even government. It's a citizens bank. It has nothing to do with government. So Twin River Casino, we did a casino, we did a high school. Doesn't have to be government past performance. Put past performance down. All right. Doesn't have to be government past performance. Just make sure it's not blank. If we go back out here and I look at some of the other guys' profile, this company Excel Solutions. Okay. Look, blank, blank, blank. Service information, keywords, blank. Special equipment, blank. Past performance, blank. They're invisible to the government. Nobody's calling that person. They're not going to call them, Regina. I guarantee it. They're not going to call them. 1,000%. This person, I don't know this person. They don't have any contracts. Gregory Leonard has no contracts. 1,000%. I guarantee it. If you guys want to find a company that you can consult with, call Gregory. He needs help now. Call Greg because he don't know what he's doing. He needs to get someone to help him. Call Davis Ruse. Davis is lost. He's got a blank profile, okay? And he said he's trying to do government contracts. He's been around since 2018. I promise you he's got nothing. 1,000%. Call this number right here. Send him an email and say, Davis, I was on a chat. I was looking last night at your profile. Do you really need help with government contracts? Because it seems like, are you serious about it? We can help you. Nobody's calling them. All right. Nobody's calling them. All right. Let me go back up here and see what other questions that people have. All right. By the way, here's our shop page for all our tools for you guys. Just join us right now. Okay. Here's a shop page for all the tools that went over tonight. You can buy any one of them that you want. The link should be working. What we're doing until midnight is we're basically allowing everybody to buy the bundle of all the premium tools for one price. And we gave them a discount on top of the discount. So it's now 45% off until midnight tonight. All right. So what's seeking a capability briefing? Thank you, Syed. That's a good question. So capability briefing is when you actually sit down and you talk to the government, and I'll show you guys here. So what happens is when you actually, so I have here my list of government buyers, right? Using our tool, Market Assassin. Okay. And here are the small business contacts that are tied to those particular entities. So what I do is once we have here a list of government buyers, let's say Army Contracting Command, I can go over here, find the small business contact for them. Let's see. Okay, Army Contracting Command, Office of Small Business Programs. And I can call this number or send them an email and schedule a capabilities briefing with them. All right, Syed. And then what I do is that allows me to sit down with them and have a conversation about their pain points and priorities and how our company is a solution provider to their pain points and priorities. So now that we know who our targeted list is, we want to, again, let's go back to our slides, right? So once we know who our target list is, then we could go back to offering them an actual solving their problems, not selling our services. So in that briefing, right, we can go over some of these pain points that we discovered, aging facilities, deferred maintenance backlog, right? And we can show them how we can help them, right? Provide, for example, here, let's talk about it. What was it? Value engineering. We could provide, help them with early cost modeling. We could provide them with value engineering. So we do that in a briefing as a way of introducing ourselves, talking to them about some of their challenges and their priorities, saying who we are and how we can help them overcome that. And so that's a formal process that every agency does and has. They just have a different way of going about it. So that's what a capabilities briefing is, Syed. I hope I was able to answer that question. D-Nice, will they help you build your IP? I don't know what you mean by that. Got to get more specific. How do we change our narrative in S small business dynamic search? Great question, Faneet. Bye. That one I do not know the answer for because I have not physically done that myself in a very long time. So I don't know how you actually change your narrative anymore. It used to be through SAM.gov. I believe, though, they have a new system. So with the new system, this is why I don't know it, because they do have a new system right now, and I'm just not hip on the new system. So be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Sorry about that. When you say what platform are these profiles on, I'm not sure what profiles you're referring to, because I've kind of gone through that. But I will say that right now, everything that I'm showing you are on the tools that we've built. If you want to know basically where we pull the information from, I'm not sure if that's your question, but I can show you that as well, right? So, I mean, for example, I just need to know more specifics about your question so I can answer it, because I'm not sure when you say what platform are these profiles on, which profiles are you talking about? What if I don't find one? When you say you don't find what, Kimberly? What if you don't find one? What? Please be specific. Right, mind you guys, I don't have any context to your question. So when you say, what if I don't find one or something like that, just let me know what you mean by one what, okay? How do you get an R&D SBIR contract? Easy. So SBIRs and sitters, they come out, those contracts are, you could just look up SBIR and sitter contracts, and they come out every quarter to bid. So, I mean, literally, you just submit your information for SBIRs and sitters. There's no, for a SBIR and sitter, it's literally just like an RFP bid. So there's a website that you find them on, and you just submit your information to bid it. It's not, it's like SAM.gov type of stuff. It's not you don't need to do market research or engage with offices or any of that kind of stuff. You literally just bid them. So there's nothing to it but to bid. So they're not hard at all. All right. By the way, if you guys want to see me show my LinkedIn tool, just drop a 1 in the chat, and I'll show you guys the LinkedIn tool that's part of the bundle. So I like it. I'm pretty impressed. So, right, you saw them with a Gmail account, Mark. You saw that. I'm with Delon Garbalana. Where are you looking to find these profiles? I like to look myself up. Still don't understand the question. So other than SBA, what other platform? Okay, so this is a good question. So other than SBA, what other platforms should we be doing the same thing? Nah, the SBA profile is the only platform that you need to do that for. Great question. The SBA platform, that's the only platform that you really need to do it for, honestly, because, and the reason why I say that is because when you look here under market research, I don't know why it went away. Okay, here. So when you look here under market research, Deleon, what happens is, I'll make it big. The government themselves, this is the database that they use. So I mean, if you want to look here, I mean, this is what they said that they do. So here are their procedures. I'll drop this far in here if you're curious to read it. But I mean, this is what they're using. They're querying these. It says, querying government-wide database of contracts and procurement instruments intended to use multiple agencies available here. Other government contract database that provide relevant to acquisitions, participating in online communities, obtaining source lists, similar awards, trade associations, other sources, reviewing catalogs, generally available public literature, manufacturers, distributors. These are all the sources that the government uses to do market research here. All right. reviewing systems like SAM.gov, FPDS, and small business dynamic small business search. So this is literally what the FAR says. So I don't think that most government people are they're going to be proactive and use other things other than what's listed here because they don't want to get in trouble. So I would just stick to the things that are listed here in the FAR, and then you should be good. No, D nice. I know what IP stands for, intellectual property. I don't know what your question means. I know IP stands for intellectual property. I don't know what your question means specifically for that. Kimberly, you're trying to look your business up, and okay, answer early. Good. Oh, you're trying. Okay, I see. You're trying to find a professional organizer profile online. I got you, Kimberly. Good. You found one. Perfect. Now, I'm going to say this also, Kimberly, for you. One of the things that I notice as well, a lot of people, is that they are not, the government does not always buy the way that you sell. So, Kimberly, even though you're a professional organizer, I don't necessarily know that they buy professional organizer services. However, what you want to look at is a horizontal or vertical way to do this. So I'm not sure if they buy professional organizer services, but what is a +1 that is something that's an extension of that you can do. So, when you professionally organize, I don't know, maybe you take stuff and throw it in a dump, right? I'm not sure. Maybe you, right? So let's, you know what? I'm not even going to use my brain. Let me see what ChatGPT says, right? How can I cross-reference my skills as a professional organizer to sell to the government something they buy? I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Because I don't even want to, why am I wasting my brain power? Okay, so as a professional organizer, it says they buy process mapping, asset visibility, space optimization, records control, workforce standardization, change management. Okay, so here, decluttering and sorting, they call the government's frame capabilities called asset inventory and accountability. Space planning is called space utilization optimization. Workflow organization is called process improvement support. File and record organization is called records management services. Labeling systems, visual management systems, change adoption, operational readiness support. So what I'm showing you guys here is that, again, when I said at the beginning, you're invisible, it's because you're not using the language, the vernacular that the government's using. They speak in acronyms. They talk about process. So you can't take your private sector words and then expect the government to interpret that. You need to translate it to government speak so that when you're writing capability statements, your SBA profiles, you're doing your keywords, you're doing your briefings, you are speaking their language. And this is the huge gap that I see a lot of people who are not in the military, who don't come from the government world. This is a gap that I see that we all have. So that's something I'm seeing. By the way, I forgot to drop my email below. All right. Where is that? So, all right, boom. All right, so there's our email and our phone number below. So that's where, going back to what I was saying, so that's some of the issues that I see a lot of us have. All right, Kimberly, that answered your question? Good. Perfect. I'm happy as I answered your question. Syed, I answered your question. Okay. Do you have training how to help people in updating their profiles? There's specific training to learn how to help people with this. Yes. Oh yeah. We have training to help everyone to do all this stuff at the highest levels. Yes. We can train you how to do it, but I that was part of the training that we went over in the boot camp on Saturday, is how to do this, right? How to actually write the profile. If you would like for us to do it for you, we can also do that as well. But yeah, we've got training on how to update your profile, because I truly believe this, right? Is that if you do this the right way, all right, if you do this the right way, you're going to get calls for bid opportunities and negotiated contracts. So if you do this the right way, you're going to get calls for bid opportunities and negotiated contracts. I guarantee it. The problem is, as you see, so many people are doing it the wrong way. And so this is why they're invisible to the government. By the way, if you guys notice, I got my background back. So I'm back home in my setting here in Virginia. I'll be here for a couple months. So as you guys see, I'm back. Got my background back. But so yeah, no, we definitely have training on how to do this. And for me, what I say is, like I said, we went over this extensively on Saturday. If you missed the boot camp, you can still sign up and register, and then you can watch the boot camp replays. But we do have training on all this stuff. Thanks, Regina. Appreciate you. Thanks for your support. Smoke says, many primes ask for CMC level 2. I would say I can get on that and have other marketing items. You can win big. You should explain how this helps. So I'm not going to. So CMC level 2. Yes, there are many primes, but again, those are the tier 1 primes that are asking for that, Smoke. I don't want to start making this a compliance call, because truly that is not a requirement right now. Okay. Level 1 is widely encouraged and is being required in many places. But level 2 is not just yet. So I don't want to kind of have people doing stuff or paying for things that they don't need to until they need to, right? And then when it's time, then they could do it. So I will say that. But yes, CMC is becoming more and more of a requirement. It's being asked for and seeing as a positive thing, because we're just all being attacked by cyber thugs everywhere. So do you know what percentage of dibs are covered by vendors? I don't understand the question. I know that Dibs has 2,000 to 5,000 bids a day that go out, if that helps. So I know that they have 2,000 to 5,000 that go out every day. I'm reading through the comments. Cool. All right. Well, it looks like I answered everybody's question. Start as a consultant. Should I search for sources of RFI except find a company that can use my services? No, Mark. No. So again, if you're starting off as a consultant, Mark, by the way, again, we have consulting modules in our trainings that we go over, like how to start as a consultant. So if I was starting off as a consultant, I would go to the SBA profile. So I would go back over here, right? And I would look at, like I said to you earlier, Mark, I would go in here and look at companies and see who has incomplete SBA profiles, or I would cross-reference them for people like none of these people have contracts, Mark. All these people need your services. Everybody in here with a blank profile needs it. Everyone on this list needs your services, Mark. So I would start off with DSBS as a consultant, and then use that list to reach out to people to offer to help them. And what I would say, Mark, is I would not even go to the extent of helping them fully with everything. I would do it in iteration. So, I would start off, Mark, by saying, hey, let me help you fix your SBA profile so you can increase your visibility to federal agents, right? So I would start off with that part, something small. Hey, let me help increase your visibility to federal agents. And then I would show them I could do that. Hey, let me find out some pipeline opportunities. So again, Mark, literally, you can, with our tool here, right, Mark, you can take any one of these companies' profiles, put it in here, and then you can give them and show them a list of government buyers. And you can say to him, hey, I was looking at your profile and I looked it up. Did you know, here's some non-common names that you probably were not aware of that are buying your services. Did you know that GSA is put out 17 contracts in your area? Did you know that Naval Sea Systems Commands buy this? No, Mark, I didn't know that. So you can easily, Mark, within 5 minutes. And by the way, this is a lifetime price. I want to say that also. All the tools that I sell is a pay once, own it for life. So you never have to pay a membership. You don't pay any monthly fees. So you could take this, Mark, and do this with hundreds of clients and give them free reports or charge them for the reports. And now you can justify why they should be working with you because they don't know how to build out a pipeline. So that's what I would do is I would start off with here in the SBA Dynamic Small Business Search to find the first clients. Kim says, seeing our own business be live examples helps a ton. Yes. Good. And you know, that's the idea. So, hey, Regina, Kim's asking, do you need accountability buddy? Go be her accountability buddy. All right. By the way, Kim just put that in there. Everyone should have an accountability buddy in federal contracting. Do not work in a silo. Okay. This is why we have the Federal Help Center, because I do not think that we should be working in silos. Right. So again, this is why we have our pro member group and our starter group in Federal Help Center, because I don't think people should be looking at working in silos. So for me, you know, this is why we do this. The women's group. Nice. Cool. So again, I second what Kim just put in there. Please, guys, don't work in silos. Find your accountability partner. It's hard out here when you're trying to run a business at all, period. Forget about selling the government. It's hard being a business owner. You don't have anybody to talk to. Your family, your friends don't understand. Everybody thinks you're crazy. They think it's a side hustle. They think, you know, like, until it's not, right? It's a side hustle until it's not a side hustle, right? Until you buy like a house. I've had students of mine that literally like bought a new house, and then like their friends start asking, like, what are you doing right now? And they say, oh, I'm doing government contracts. Oh, because now they can see the results. So for me, you know, I just think that, one, it helps you because, you know, like you lose track. Two, it also allows you to see further than where you're going, right? So you need someone that can actually see and help you to be able to see, even in those dark times when things seem bleak. They can be like, no, listen, keep pushing because we set out a goal, you know, and we're going to hit that goal. All right. A couple more questions. I'm going to sign off. How do you help people who are new to hit space that's registered in SAM? That's a big question. Okay. How do I not help people? I just went through several examples. So, I mean, I gave you 5 strategies today to employ. The strategies came from a boot camp that I taught on Saturday. I have on the screen our community that I built that has 3,000 people in it with different levels. Inside of this community that you're looking at on the back of my screen, it shows you the people, the trainings that we're doing on a weekly basis. Not just myself, I'm bringing in other experts from my podcast guests to come and also provide training and coaching to support you guys. Okay. We set up an entire women's group just for women to be able to work together in this contracting space. We have a section, this is green. It talks about local contracting. Mine and blues on federal contracting. Over and above that, we've got an action plan roadmap that lists out, I'll show you. This one has over 160 lessons of what to do. Should I be a prime? How do I go after contracts? Okay. How to set up your registration, how to set up your account. Over and above that, I just showed you my entire shop page with all these tools that does it for you automatically so that you can skip some of this stuff that we've been doing. And on top of the databases with small business liaison officers, subcontractors, all the recompete contracts, prime contracts, and then helps you research your market and build out a pipeline. How much more do you want me to do? We cover everything soup to nuts, from training courses, on-demand courses, live trainings, live boot camps. And if you got enough money, we could do a full-out white glove service. Well, one of our coaches will act as your team member and reach out to get you in the doors for agencies. But again, that's limited to people who have a certain revenue threshold and who have a certain financial profile. So we cover everything soup to nuts. Oh, I forgot. We also have a free course. If you want to start our free course, freegovconcourse.com. Okay. We have a free course that teaches you, if you are even newer than that, you can go to our free course that walks you through. But if you're registered in SAM, you probably don't need this free course because it's pre-SAM registration. Okay. That's what I do for people in this space. And we're continuing to build out more tools and grow our platforms. And we're continuing to help people not only determine what pipelines they should be targeting, but now I've taken it to the next level where we're helping people actually generate LinkedIn content that gets read by government officials. So here's one of our first demo case studies. This particular woman here, she's using these posts. She hasn't posted in 8 months on LinkedIn. She's using our tool called Content Creator, which is our AI-powered tool that helps you generate LinkedIn posts. She's using that tool to generate her LinkedIn post that is now, again, it's written using the same pain points and priorities that I listed before. Okay, now we're using the same pain points to make targeted LinkedIn posts to attract government buyers to you. So when someone said, where else can you attract government buyers? LinkedIn has more government buyers than any other platform in the world. So we're now utilizing the same pain points and priority database that I created to generate LinkedIn posts. So it's targeted so that government decision makers can find you now when they're also searching that on publicly accessible social media platforms. So we now have also, and here's an example. So Jane Shen, here's her profile. I'll drop it in the chat. You guys go look at it for yourself. Okay, so that's Jane. So her company's called Chosen Industries, right? And I'll show you just a little bit background so you can see. All right. So Jane's last post was 8 months ago. You can see that. All right. So her last post, I'm going to zoom in. Her last post was 8 months ago. And then now these posts here, 70% of DoD construction contractors face delays. Here's how to avoid them. Efficiency of construction is key to time success, Chosen Industries. That post was generated using our our content generator tool here. So we were able to generate that post for her, the graphics, everything, and she just copied and pasted it and put it on LinkedIn. This second post, past performance is a new currency of trust. I've noticed something interesting about government contractor. This post was generated utilizing one of our tools that we built. So she's utilizing our tools to generate her LinkedIn post now. That, by the way, I'm going to show you something else. So let's scroll down to her. Okay. And you'll see here that already marketing, look at this. Anybody know the Whiting Turner Company? So already people from some of the primes, okay, capture and proposal, mission-driven defense, operation support, construction project manager. So already we have, here's a senior healthcare federal program manager. Already it's attracting people from the government to her because she's talking about, look, government pain points based on my database and directory that I created that's now powering her post. So her posts are now specific to the same priorities and pain points that I showed you guys here in ChatGPT. Okay. Her posts are now written specifically to address those things. And that's what's helping her to be discovered. And all these hashtags. Okay. That's now helping her be discovered by government officials. Okay, here's one that she put out, 13 hours ago. The $370 billion crisis nobody's talking about and how to solve it. Deferred maintenance backlog grew from $170 billion in 2017 to $370 billion. According to, this government study. Agencies face an average of 10% annual growth in deferred maintenance costs. Federal Real Property Report 2025. At chosen industries, we've noticed something about interesting. Major agencies still struggle with basic renovations, waiting years of budget constraint. This whole post was written with our GovCon content creator tool. Okay. This whole post was written with our content creator tool. She didn't think about writing that post. She generated it and it made the post for her. You can literally, I'll show you guys. Regina done put a 1 in the chat. She done blew up my chat with 1s. I'm going to show you, Regina, how you can do this. So essentially, this profile is already filled out. But if, let's say it wasn't, when you first log into the tool, you put your company name, your phone number, your NAICS code, separate by commas, small business type, your core services, what makes you different. All right. Any certifications, any vehicles, any past performance, or not, leave it blank. You could choose your colors. And then now you have your profile. And then what it does is you can tell it to generate 1, 3, 5, 10 posts. Okay. It mixes up between these different styles of posts. It identifies your target agencies. And then based on your target agencies, it makes posts utilizing their priorities and pain points coupled with your services. Okay, Regina. Okay, Kim. So now the same way that ChatGPT rewrote your services to talk to the government's pain points, this is what we do for your LinkedIn profile is we do the same thing is that now I'll show you guys, we'll generate 5 posts. So now it's analyzing, it's creating the content engine. Okay. It's crafting it. It's writing your post for you. And then it's adding viral hooks because to get people to read your post, you have to have hooks. It's optimizing for engagement. And then it's polishing a final draft to spit out. And so now what's about to happen is it's about to create you 5 posts. You can copy and paste all these posts, schedule them on LinkedIn today. And now you have 5 posts ready to go for this week. That's specifically addressing federal government's pain points, priorities written for your company. Okay. So now you can start attracting government buyers to you. You no longer have to wait for them. You can now start. So now when they start to go to your profile and see you, because we know that the government buyers are looking at small businesses on LinkedIn. Now, Kim, now Regina, you are now, right? Okay, here. So somebody just talked about CMC. What nobody tells you about CMC preparation, 85% of federal agencies aren't fully compliant and it's costing them big. Contracts lost, opportunities missed, frustration grows. But here's the truth. It isn't about checking boxes. It's about readiness, strategic alignment, real security. At Cipher Intel, we see it every day. Agencies struggling with incomplete documentation, misunderstood requirements, last minute rushes. And we ask, what if compliant was your strength, not your weakness? Here's how to turn it around. It just wrote this whole post. I'll show you, right? So now I'll do it live for you guys. I'm gonna do you one better. You know, hey, I can show you better than I can tell you, baby. Boom. Here's your post. Copy, paste. All right. Let me go back over here real quick. Let me make a graphic for this post. Click graphic. Here's the graphic. Let me download it. Cipher Intel, LinkedIn quote. Put on my desktop real quick. There's my graphic. I copied and pasted the post. Okay. Now this, you obviously, whenever we're pulling from chat, you see these asterisks. So you got to take out the little asterisk things. Okay. So you have to take this out. I'm not going to take it out because I'm just going to show you guys a post. It already gave me my hashtags. All right. Let me add my graphic that I just downloaded. LinkedIn quote graphic. There's my graphic. Hit next. And post. And this is what it looks like. So this is what your hook looks like, right? When nobody tells you about CMC preparation, 85% of agencies aren't fully compliant. That's your hook. So that's what gets them to actually open it. Here's your graphic. Compliance transforms challenges into competitives. And then here's your company's Cipher Intel. And just like that, this is what she's doing to make posts. All right. I'm going to save this one. And then here's the next post. I've known something about da-da-da. I can hit copy it, the same thing, paste it. Now, if you want to get fancy on them, right? If you want to show out, you want to show out. Okay, we can do a carousel where we take, and now let's do 5 slides. Generate carousel. We can do 3, 4, 5, 6 slides. Okay. And now what it'll do is it'll generate these 5 slides that you can effectively do the same thing, right? And so now with the carousels, all right, we can download the carousel, save it. I'll show you guys just for demo. I'll delete all this afterwards. Let me close it. I'm going to copy this post. All right, go back to LinkedIn. Let's create a new post, copy and paste. Again, you want to take out all the asterisks, which you can do that through a prompt. I'm not going to do it because I'm just going to show you guys just for demo purposes. And then where do we do our carousel? Hold on. Where did I save it? I forgot where I saved it. All right, let me go back and grab it. Where did I save it? Oh, wait, hold on here. Okay, here it is. Here's my carousel. Let's put it on my desktop because I can't find this thing. Okay, it's on desktop. Okay, it's already there. All right, let me go back in, upload from my computer, my desktop. Why is it not letting me look? Oh, hold on. Stop sharing. Let me get it. Why is it not letting me load it? So it looks like they took away the carousel feature on LinkedIn. So they're now making you have to share images, and they're not allowing you to load the PDF. So what we'll do is I'm going to go back to share my screen. So they took away the carousel feature on LinkedIn. So we'll make sure that what we'll do now is I will take the carousel feature, and instead of making this into PDFs, we'll make it to images, and then you can just load up multiple images at once. So we'll make sure to as LinkedIn changes their features, we'll make sure to give you guys access to it. But in the event, that's fine. We'll just generate a graphic post, and then we'll just download the graphic, and we'll put that on there for this next post. And okay. And then again, boom. All right. I noticed something interesting about cybersecurity, international development agencies. Protecting data is protecting lives. Don't overlook the threats. Compliance transforms challenges into competitive advantages. You guys see that? Y'all see what I did? You guys see that? You see how easy that was to write content that talks to the government agencies that has your information in it that now is going to give you credibility and authority. Hey, look, a man said, Mark said, Eric said in a previous video, he's going to try to make us feel good if not breaking bread with him. That man got everything he needs. Thank you, Mark. Mark, hey, look, you see it. I'm showing you. You can't, Mark, you will not have any excuses. I'm going to leave y'all with 0 excuses. You cannot say, well, I don't read books. Okay. So fine, don't read the book. Well, Eric, I don't watch a bunch of videos. Okay, don't watch the videos. You can't say I don't use tools, Mark. You can't say that. I am trying to level the playing field for small businesses. It is growing harder and harder to be a small business in America. I am leveling the playing field for us. That's all I'm doing. That's it. I'm going to delete these posts because this is my boy, Andre. Hold on one second, guys. Let me just delete this real quick. I want people to start liking this post already. So I delete these posts off my profile. All right, listen, guys, I'm getting out of here, man. We done been here all night. Look, we done been here all night. I done been here 2 hours. I'm supposed to be here 45 minutes. So, hey, hopefully, some of you guys will take advantage of the offer, right? You got until midnight, unfortunately. So this is the page. All right. Hopefully some guys will take advantage of the offer. I hope so. If not, I understand. I know, people have different financial situations, but like I said, Mark, everything that you need, brother, to be a consultant out the gate. All right. All the stuff, right? So everything everybody needs to dominate in 2026 is here. And, we just want to make it available for you guys. And we want to change the game. We want to get more people that look like us doing this stuff. We want to get more people that come from the place that we come from, the backgrounds that we have. We want to make this, we want to become the great equalizer. So I'm doing my part. Now it's up for you guys to take what I'm giving you and take action on the stuff that I'm giving you. I'm spending a lot of time. I just spent 8 hours Saturday, and then I spent 12 hours traveling yesterday on a flight. I got here at 2 a.m. all day in meetings, and then I put this live session together for you guys. So, I got to check out. And I just had a baby last month. So, we're in February, 2 months ago. So again, I'm putting in the work. I'm not making no excuses. So you guys do the same thing. That's what I got to say. That's my closing statements for tonight.